I'd like to welcome everybody to this special meeting. Trust me, this is not gonna be a habit. We need this one tonight to get some things done and moving. A lot of good things going on. Todd, if you will, call the roll, please.
Dickie Gittner, Salem, here. Bobby Westbrook, Haskell, here. Todd Peterson, Ben Utilities, here. Mayor Chris Treat, Brian.
Here.
I would say Mayor Mike Kemp, Shannon Hills, but proxy.
Yes.
Jason Temple, Southwest.
Here.
Kim Couples, East End.
Here.
Jamie Reagan, Saline County Water and Wastewater.
Here.
Everyone's here.
Good. We have a court press. I declare this meeting open for business. First thing I'd like to do is welcome Tom, representative here. We have approved them. We're gonna sign, everybody's gonna sign tonight. And I would like to ask you to come up and sit in that chair over there, sir. You have a seat on the board. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
And when you get there, tell everybody who you are.
That's what told. So they.
Perfect time for committee members, huh?
Yeah, it is. It's time to get.
So I'm Tyler Hensley from Toll. I don't know, not much to say. Other than that,
Hey,
Welcome aboard.
yes, sir. Thank you.
We need to get something from Toll. Who there, is he going to be their representative? So do we need to get something formally from Toll designating him as their representative, correct? Mr. Perry? No?
That's what we've done in the past.
That's why I remember, I had to do that. That's the only reason I remember, is because it was something, whoever was from the organization ratified, or, no?
I don't have personal recollection, it might have happened before my time. That's, but it's pretty,
We've always did.
it's absolutely pretty.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
I
I
remember.
mean, that's up to the board. If they don't want to do it, that's fine. We've always did.
We've already done it. He can go come back to the next meeting with it.
Yeah, as long as it's next meeting, it's fine.
Okay, so I just need to get something in writing.
Yeah, just something from the city council naming you as the voting member of the delegation.
Okay.
Yes.
Would it be a good idea for them also include a proxy in case they want to have someone to back them up too as well?
I think they did, Jeff.
Jeff, yes,
I
sir.
think it's gonna be
So
Jeff.
that would be good.
Okay.
Just put that on there too. That's good,
Okay.
Justin. Yeah. I attended that meeting the other night, really good. All right. Here, if there's not anything else, we'll move right into the, contracts. I've been told to stay on this schedule that's on this paper,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
in a nice way. So,
You were told that, or you were told that?
I was just kind of told that on the slide.
All right. Can you hook me into your?
One second, I'll get this up.
Oh, Wi-Fi wasn't good.
I thought it had to be presented, so I set it up. It's.
And, yeah.
When you need it.
Just very quickly, this is why for the last 3 meetings, I've been really trying to push on a couple of topics, most importantly right now, getting something that will get us an indicative rating. We all know that, and I sent out the agreements as edited by our friends Friday firm. 3 weeks ago, you all have gotten them, you've had that time with them. I have extra copies with me in any case. But basically, I'm going to be asking you folks as a board, and subject to ratification of your respective boards on the back end, of contracts that remove the conditions Tyler, you've never seen anything but a contract without those conditions, but that's where we're going. We're catching up to you at this point.
Okay.
But long story short, starting at the back end, if we want to close on Wifield funds, which we all know is sculptable, if our other loans are only 20, 25 years, we can pile on all the principal on the back end and keep the rates steady. We can do lots of stuff with it on the front end as well. If we want that money, and I highly, highly suggest we take it without BABA, it's going to be on the low end, 6 months, on the high end, about 15, between application, meaning $100,000, which we've already gotten. I got the meeting minutes. I got that authorization back in March, and the indicative rating. That's when the application is considered complete. You need a couple of months for the indicative rating. You need a couple of months to, this was in contemplation of cycling it through our respective boards in the near term rather than the medium term. That's why I've been kind of ringing the bell on getting this part of the process moving forward. And just so you know, now you know what it has to come after. Now here's what WIFIA funding has to come before. First of all, it has to come before SRF money if, here's the deal. Closing on WIFIA funds wherein the BABA exemption exists is necessary but not sufficient for the state to follow along and likewise grant us a BABA waiver on the state funds. It would make no sense to have federal funds, but not state funds, and not just throw a bomb in the whole thing when we go to the state. Hopefully somebody can talk to the state and get a loose commitment, at least that with the BABA waiver in the federal system, they will further honor that in the state. But to make that waiver official, we have to go to WIFIA first before we come to the state. And it also has to happen before 50% of the project costs, the eligible project costs, is defined term in capital E, P, C, eligible project costs, which includes some money that we've already spent, irrespective of its source, to occur. The WIFIA closing has to happen before that. So the moral of the story is, if we want to use WIFIA funds, and we want to close in the next 12 to 18 months or so, we really may not have a choice but to go to the private market to get funds earlier than that aren't, covered with, the bad parts above. That's just me looking at the process and the timeline for hours at this point and just trying to get it down to you guys in 10 minutes or less. I was asked to please come up with a third slide, and this is the other side of the coin. This is the not so much the financial side of the coin, but what leads to our closing from a development and from an easement acquisition point of view. The start of the work is proceeded, allow 30 to 60 days from closing on funds for mobilization and contractors. You've got 1 to 2 months from when the bid are awarded for the lawyers to jockey over the paperwork. That's right there. That happens a lot there. Understand that you're being asked to take back contracts without these conditions in them. First, we had memorandum of understanding, then we had these contracts with conditions. And this is really the point that we will ever get to know what the exact, before construction starts, costs are going to be. Right there. It's that late in the process. So I guess that's my cheerleading for getting your boards to look at these and approve them. Not necessarily now, I'll get back to that, but sooner than this point. When we publish bids, we really, on the best estimates we have, we really need to be going back to our respective boards. It's only 6 months before the actual start of the work. It's no better you can do than that. And allow another 1 to 4 months, 2 to 4 months in between completing the acquisitions of the easements and actually being able to publish bids. So in a realistic setting, we're still looking at a year from that standpoint as well. So maybe it's not so bad in terms of BABA. Maybe we don't want to take money in the first year. I don't know. That's y'all's decisions to make. But what I do have are are the amended and restated raw water contract, the amended and restated finished water contract, and the amended and restated finished water contract as to its east end. And I'm gonna be asking y'all to, you've seen these now for 3 weeks, along with the red lines. It's all or nothing. I mean, either the contracts get amended by each entity here, or they don't, and we don't move forward towards financing. Now, there is one safety valve, and that is we need to have these approved, ratified by your respective boards. In concept, you can wait 6 to 9 months to do that, when we might have sharper focus on the final figures. But a vote, a resolution adopting these as the templates, and then this contains the same thing I just said, which is it has to be adopted and approved, ratified by its rate-making board. That is a condition of sorts, but it's not, it's a little bit less forward of a condition than maybe a price or a time condition precedent. Any questions before I pass this over? Mr. Chairman, you've got the amended and restated water, raw water agreement, along with the red line. The amended and restated treated water, along with the red line, and the amended and restated East End Water Improvement District number 1 or 2 with the red line.
Thank you. Question?
So is the next steps for us to take these to our respective boards and get approval, or what's the next step?
We can talk about them, we'll look at the question with him. Probably back to the boards, get them approved. I'd say by the next meeting, wouldn't you? To make it move, too soon?
I thought we were approving them tonight with
They
them.
have to go back to your board.
I know, but they do not have to go back to our board until we are closer to financing, so that it's potentially after bids are open.
Okay.
Do you have to have this?
That is just, we're showing it as our intentions of our template.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he was kind of stating, I thought, was that it can not have to go back to our, for approval to our final boards, until we have financial information, so we're only going back to those perspectives. And maybe mine is different than everybody else's, because again, my approval is different, because my final approval does not happen until I go back to the city of Benton and get that approval by the rate-making organization. That agreement technically can be approved by my organization, but it's still not done by my rate-making organization, which will then have to come back later and have to be approved by, so that it has strength in case that has to occur. But again, my understanding is that I thought we were approving them tonight with the understanding that it is this board's intention that this is how the agreement is going to look like, so that that gives the financing people that, hey, this is the intentions and we're moving forward.
I think we do need board approval tonight, but I actually thought we were going back to our board with it. That we approved it and then we take it, period.
You're both right.
It's your
Both
choice.
right.
So we're basically just approving the form,
Mr. Peters, oh, sorry.
we're just approving the form of it, and then we go get our board approval for actual
That's
execution.
what I thought.
Is that how you
biggest
take it?
concern, I'm gonna voice it out loud.
Mhm.
My biggest concern, having lived in everything but bathed with these things recently, is that at the last minute, somebody makes a demand that has to be complied with for the project to move forward, that has nothing to do with the thumbs up or thumbs down on the rate. And my hope is that with the approximations that we'll have as little as 6 months before work starts, it's only in 3 years gone up, 2.5 years gone up from $4.98 to $5.20. And there's been several moving parts. The exclusion of SARs, the inclusion of top, bottle weight. There's all kinds of moving parts. That's going to continue to move. It's more of a principle thing, whether it costs $5.35 or $5.55. At a certain point, we're betrothed.
Mhm.
Y'all need to make a decision when that point needs to be.
But right now, we're working toward this, rating. But that's
And all you need
what
is
this
the
is
board
mainly
say.
for.
That's right.
Our-
And
our-
the approval of these agreements
Yes.
gives our financial advisor, municipal advisor, whatever the formal type, the necessary documentation for her to start to move forward, or I said her because I'm talking, but for Stevens, I shouldn't say, for Stevens to start moving forward. Is my understanding. And again, I totally agree, there's not much difference between 530 and 550, but if something stupid happens, and I know all his, what if it's 7? What if it's 8? There's at some point that it just becomes, this is not really worth it, and then it dies, and I think that's the key of waiting. That's my only point, where before, previously, that was in there, and now that it is not in there, I can tell you, the rate-making group behind me will want some assurances there.
Well, Ms. Peterson, let me give you my best response. It is our hired engineer's job, it's our hired financial consultant's job to track as closely as possible how it's gonna shake out price-wise, capitalized interest-wise,
I agree.
repayment-wise. And all of these numbers, every one of these numbers, is based on the minimum take, not an average take, not the maximum take. And all of them exclude East End for now from the finance. So if you have hired professionals whose job it is to track that and give you the best, closest estimate they can, we should know before the bids come in where we're at.
We better.
And it may be the difference between 530 and 550. I
I
don't
agree.
know. And we may be off by that much. I'm taking myself out of that equation.
So, first thing we need to do is discussion on these contracts, anything, or I entertain a motion to accept.
Do we need to do them one at a time, or do we need to do them all at once? Does it matter, Barry?
I think you can take them all.
All at once,
Okay.
hopefully.
All right.
Can I make a motion, we take these as a template? And accept these
That is the new form contract.
as our new form contract. All 3.
I'll second.
Motion second, let's get this motion right. My friend here is writing fast as he can. And we'll read it back, be sure we get it right, that's okay.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Do you mind if I?
No, go ahead and talk
conversation?
while we're getting this
Yeah.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ryan Bowman with Friday Oak Clark, along with Taylor Marshall. We're serving as bond counsel to the authority, and just want to maybe provide us some additional clarity. You know, when we're talking about upwards of $200 million in bonds being issued by this board, we want to make sure that there is no risk associated with this at all. And so, as part of these contracts, there will be a requirement that each of your entities receive an opinion from council that these contracts are valid and enforceable against each of your entities. We as bond counsel will not be able to give those opinions. So there will be, 9 different opinions given on behalf of each of the entities. And so one of those attorneys may require that the final contract with the final rate be approved by your entity. I won't speak for all of the council that's getting that, but that is one argument for waiting until that final rate is known. Because the rate in the contract before you tonight is $5.20. And as Mr. Peterson alluded to, let's say that goes to $6.20 when the project costs are bid and finalized. Some of your entities may decide that that's too rich for your entity, and they may decide that they don't want to be part of this project. And so it's very important from a risk standpoint, when you're talking about $200 million of bonds, that we ensure that each of your entities are on board, and there's no argument that, well, we didn't know exactly what the final rate would be. So while you're certainly entitled to go back to your entities now with this $5.20, if we were giving the opinion on your behalf, just speaking for our firm, we would ask that that final amount be part of that contract. So if it went from 520 to 530, we would ask that that contract be amended in the future to make sure that that final rate was part of that agreement. So I just wanted to provide some color from the bond counsel standpoint, and give you the option of either pursuing, approving the contract now or waiting until in the future when the project costs more.
In our motion, do we need to state that we want the caveat, knowing that our rate will probably be adjusted in the future, even upon accepting these contracts as they are today? So there's no argument between anybody that we all know we're gonna have an adjustment to that rate. It just needs to be acknowledged now that we know we're gonna adjust that rate in the future based on the final project costs.
Here, I'm gonna ask a question. Mine didn't have an exact rate. Mine is a percentage. Did the treatment have, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Mine
And
is,
the rate that we were given was again $5.20. And so we won't know exactly what that dollar amount is until the project is bid and we know the exact rate.
Right. So that's my question. Do we need to acknowledge that now, or can?
Well,
I think you can acknowledge that, but just acknowledging it on this board does not then eliminate the need for your constituent entities boards to approve those contracts with that final rate.
and again, I think the key was, and a motion to approve all 3 contracts as a template to refer back to our governing organizations. It was made, did that sound about right? Okay. And I think the key is the template.
I agree.
That's, we'll make sure it's that way, that it's in basically final form, other than,
It's not
Right.
the final executed document that we can go to court with against somebody yet.
Does that motion fit?
Yeah.
You count?
Can I suggest you use the word model agreement instead of template?
yeah, I can use as a model.
Model agreement.
And so
Are you
going
okay
to your
with that?
constituent
Yes,
entity
it's a
now
very friendly amendment.
may just be an extra step in the process. In other words, you may do that, let's say in June, and then we bid the project and we know those final amounts in October. We may be asking you to go back to your entity in October.
I'm not, man,
And so it's really up to you. You want to go through basically an additional step to do it in June as opposed to just waiting until later when the project.
My board expects that.
Sure.
They already expect to see that final number at the final stage.
But I think Mr. Peterson alludes to, there's probably a ceiling where maybe someone would at least question that particular rate. We hope that's not the case. We don't know what that rate would be, but that's a possibility.
At least give them the right.
And with bondholders, there can be no uncertainty as to whether your entities are on board, because once you sign these contracts, you're agreeing to buy water from the Public Water Authority for the term of the law.
I appreciate the simplicity of the route of waiting until we have some more specifics on the cost of the project.
Let's go back.
It helps
Yeah.
to explain the whole thing at once and not keep coming back and avoiding the confusion of, hey, you just brought this back. 2 months ago, what are you asking us now? So that's helpful.
For the record,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I do agree with council, and that's why I didn't say just go running back now. My only caveat to that would be maybe functionally impossible to wait until the actual final bids come in. That's gonna be a horse race at that point between financing and bidding, as I'm sure you're aware, so that may be a little bit late in the game, but we can, I'm sure, come up with better or more exact estimates as time goes on, but I would expect you're gonna come real close before you get bids open.
One more time, will this be enough for our bond rating?
Well, the plan, we have to have water purchase contracts to
Yes.
give to them in
Yes,
order
ma'am.
to pursue an indicative rating.
So,
So the form that we give them is, I'm sorry, not template, but
Model.
the model contract is what we do. So is it enough for them? I mean, we give them, to get an indicative rating, you give them the scenario that you want them to rate. And that scenario would include these model contracts, should
Okay.
you decide to approve it tonight.
good deal. Thank you. Any more questions? Read the motion again, Todd, would you please, one more time?
See it. Motion to approve all three contracts as a model agreement to refer back to our governing organizations.
Subject to ratification of our governing organization.
That's what I meant.
Subject to,
Read my mind.
subject to ratification, can I just put it on the end?
Of our. Of constituent entities
A
governing bodies.
template, as a model agreement to refer back to our governing organizations, subject to ratification.
Now, instead of,
It's all right, we did it right.
Yeah.
subject to ratification by, instead of to refer back to. Subject to ratification.
Okay. Instead of, okay, model agreement, subject to
Ratification of the constituent entities governing bodies.
You're recording this, right?
And doing a good job.
That's exactly why it's in those.
That's right.
All right.
All right. Any more questions?
Yeah, before,
Yes, sir?
forgive me,
No,
it's a
no,
little bit
no.
above my head out in Toll, but, just before I vote on anything, we're voting on just a model agreement, so this isn't like final contract binding, anything, this is
No,
just
no.
a model, okay,
I'll be down the road months.
okay,
Still,
alright.
anything changes, but right now you're carrying 520. And so by the time we do it, what he's saying, it could be up, could be down. Did I say it? So, any more questions?
No, sir, I think,
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I agree, unanimous. Thank you. All right, next on the agenda, in order, sir, is approval of treated water contracts. All
Yeah,
done, all done, so we got all of them. Then the last thing is establish a finance committee. And let me ask you, and that's the last thing we can talk about and discuss and everything else, but Leanne has some information. You know, the board decided to go to the county judge and get an opinion on what he thought about the finance committee. Remember, that was the last meeting, I believe, wasn't it? When we talked about that. So Leanne spoke to him. If you would, Leanne, would you mind, explaining that couple of things, comments he had, and,
I think the amended agenda says something about a technical specification.
It's on C. Yeah, go ahead.
okay. Thank you.
I spoke to the judge on Friday, and I would just note for everyone's benefit that he said he was not concrete about this, but here were just some general thoughts.
Okay.
He, indicated that, it made sense to have 3 PWA members on the committee, as well as the county judge or his representative.
So he would be the fourth, I'm sorry.
Yes,
Okay, he would
that's
be
what
the
I
fourth.
understood from him. And he specifically mentioned Benton and Bryant.
Yes,
And I think, so I ran just some quick numbers on the percentage of purchasers. And then we're also looking at 3 different rating agency criteria, because you never want to go in and ask for a rating if you don't know what the rating is going to be. So we're looking at each of the criteria to see which would be the best fit for the PWA. And one of those rating agencies look at the underlying rating of the members. And Benton and Bryant are the only 2 members that have been rated. So that would be, you know, my expectation, Perry, please correct me, but if the rating agency, which typically is the case, they want to talk to representatives of the PWA, I would envision the finance committee would be the people that would talk to the rating agencies, and we do our dog and pony show with the finance committee members. So
Mhm.
he specifically mentioned Benton and Bryant, as well as one other PWA member, and then the county judge or his representative. With regard to the technical committee, he suggested 2 executive board members or their representatives, 1 other PWA member, and then the county judge or his representative. And again, he said not concrete about this, but here were some thoughts. So I'm delivering the thoughts.
thank you.
Okay.
Just as a comment, I think Benton and Bryant need to be on there. That's just an opinion. If everybody else speak up.
Oh, which committee?
So.
Which one? Technical or the finance?
Finance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to the bond rating, I mean, we're PWAs, Dickie and I, and we have bonds already. Didn't we get our rating when we got our bonds for our, debt service stuff?
You actually did not. For both of your bond issues, you had no, your entity and your issue was not rated, but bond insurance was purchased, which tracked it in a rating. So it was
Okay.
actually using the bond insurance rating. Yeah.
So, on the finance committee, I mean, I'm enjoying being a part of this board and learning how this stuff works at the big level, but I'm probably not someone that can contribute to, whereas I could contribute to the technical committee.
Anybody else? What if, I'm talking out loud, we had two members. There actually won't be voting, will you? So, if you had 2 plus Perry and the county judge, I'm talking out loud, y'all would be the members. It would be a 2-member or 3-member count the judge plus Perry. And I'm just talking.
I mean, does anybody else want to take part in it? I mean,
Yeah,
another
fair question.
PWA.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Anybody
wants
else?
to, that's, want to learn about doing bonds on finance? That's finance. Does anybody else want to? I mean, Dickie, do you? I mean, if you,
I don't have a problem with that.
I mean, you're the president, I mean, it'd just be the executive board then, and then the county judge. And then Perry will be,
And then Perry,
staff,
I'm
of
just,
course.
The end, Mr. Hayes, got a recommendation of
That's 3.
criteria. If somebody needed a rating, I would presume it might be Salem water users, possibly.
And you are the largest purchaser of the treatment facility, your organization.
We've already kicked up
Yes.
the Salem water financials to the EPA, so let's just get a little bit.
and we've got to get our audit done. We haven't had one in a while, so we need to get that moving. And, I don't have a problem. If there's anybody else that would like, but I'm certainly with you.
Man,
Yeah, all right, you got it.
Not on the finance.
exciting world of
I
finance.
can say all I need to say from the
I think
board.
jumping
I don't
on
need
you.
to be in committee.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
So-
I'm in.
this would be, in your minutes, would be, Benton Bryant, me, county judge, Barry.
I think somebody just needs to make that motion that, yeah,
I agree.
I'll make a motion. You want to parry it?
well, he's staff. He's
He's
gonna be
staff.
coming.
He's gonna be there.
He's gonna be there.
And
He's gonna be there.
sure, that's the way I see it.
Well, really, it's just three members, then, and the
Yeah.
judge.
Three members and a judge. That's what you're both.
That's my motion.
Gotcha.
The judge or his representative.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's why he said, I think. Yeah.
Leanne and I expected to show.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's the story of my life.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll second.
Motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Technical committee.
Technical minute, we have one volunteer already. That's the,
I think there's somebody, he's not here tonight, but I know the representative here has, I think Ted. Again, I know Ted's a busy guy, I know he is, but again, Ted's got a lot of knowledge
Yeah.
and looking at stuff.
you spare him?
I think, that's why,
You know, we're gonna take it. Well, quite fine.
again, I know he's a busy, you got
Very
to,
fine.
and I understand.
I think he'd enjoy it. He geeks out on that stuff.
I know he does.
Yes,
I've sat
I
and
think
talked to him
that's
a little
a
bit.
great idea.
We start geeking on some engineering when it's, not have to worry about anything else.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy engineering. You need to water that down a little bit. Maybe a plant operator or something like that.
Mr. Mayor, we've been merciful on Ted from the.
Yeah, yeah.
We haven't had a workshop meeting in 2 months.
That's right. No worries. I'm sure he
Somebody from my
I'm sure he does.
plant, an actual operator, I think would be better, but again, Ben is not part of the treatment plant, that's why I kinda, I can tell you, the only thing I worry, the intake structure, as long as the water can get to that dang reservoir, all I gotta do is open a valve.
we got that cooked. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the key for Ben,
We got
but,
that cooked.
so it's just some pumps, other than that, I know, again, I think it would be good to have, and if you having an operator that's what they do day to day, looking at it from perspective, I mean, that's up to y'all. Or if anybody else wants to take part in looking at the plans of the plant, I mean, I know he has people he calls on, other operators too, and looks at it and says, okay, what did I do right, what I did wrong, but he never does nothing wrong, I'm sure he'll tell you that.
No, that's right. Yes. I was in one all day today.
So, but that's up to,
Matt, you wanna do that? You wanna be involved with them?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, I mean, that's the whole point, I mean, I've requested this
yeah, he requested it.
before.
Yeah, I know.
He wants to be showing these things to somebody, because he's gotten pretty far along, and he wants to show it to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I think,
important. I think it's important.
Anything that's going on.
Is there a treatment operator that you guys,
I mean, again, I would have my manager.
there we go.
If you said Benton, but I'd have my manager, and I would say, look at this as an operator, and I can tell you, he used to run the Malvern plant, that he knows,
You about John?
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
that's who I would,
It'd be nice.
yeah, I mean,
Kimsey.
he's been a couple different places.
Yes, he is.
Sounds good.
I mean, he's my water treatment plant operator, or manager, but
As far as how much water you're taking, or what kind of water you're taking, Benton and Bryant had a big hand in us being able to sit here and talk about this stuff, so irregardless of that, we're So,
Todd, what's his name?
John
Desjardins.
Okay.
He's getting his contact, but his name is John Desjardins.
And it might be nice to have somebody that doesn't know anything about water treatment plants to have on here.
I'm not doing it, both of them. I'm not doing both of them.
Just need that point of view.
But I thought it was going to be the judge,
The judge,
or his representative.
he,
There you go.
he doesn't know anything about that. I mean, he's a judge.
he's not here, we'll elect him. Yeah, he's had a bad day.
He just wants to make sure that
Yeah.
you have to go come to the rescue for the water plant being down somewhere and
Yeah.
you gotta go rescue the county
He can do that.
water trucks.
And you know, we get further down the road, and it could be very big. So,
It'd be nice to have a
yeah.
judge or someone, one of his representatives, have a little ownership in this.
I think you got $10 million with that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're still spending his money.
good point, man.
That's right. Somebody from the county would be good, yeah.
Will somebody formally put that, I just put Benton, Bryant, and Southwest and the judge, or representatives.
Mhm.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Yes, I think that's good.
I heard it.
Bobby.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, any public comment here, anybody? I don't see any. No, you come.
Next meeting is May 28th. I know we had
May
originally
28th.
said 22nd, but that was the fourth Friday. And I don't think we want to meet on Friday.
Last night, next meeting is May 28th.
So I apologize.
Anything else? That's about it. Yes, sir.
Sorry, I said enough, but I just want to say two last things. One, the $5.20 is 3% higher than what Matt last estimated. I built it into, fewer surprises, smaller surprises. And the second is that I have had through your contact, some back and forth with Senator Bozeman's, assistance. There's not been any concrete news yet, but they are looking at it seriously.
Can we speak to that just 1 second and not take any action, it's just information. Brett, I know I contacted you this morning, Terry, I got a call from the lady from Georgia that called us, what was her name? Kimberly. And she called and wanted to know if they were put on, when you and I visited with them, she called us and wanted to talk. We told her that we involve the engineers on anything like that and other people. And so she indicated that they do financing and they do find money. So
Yeah, she's talking to me.
and we told her that.
But it's gonna be a lot of contract tracking.
Yeah.
Imagine their Saline manager.
Things that I thought you'd be most interested in, if you want, I'll send
Is
it.
that your Saline manager?
She just wanted to, she just,
To her,
yes,
to her spiel, and the second half is what we were marginally interested in, the subject to Chris Engineering saying they
Yeah.
want anything to do with it. And I didn't even know you spoke, but.
yesterday.
Pre-contracting and a post-contracting, phase, and it would be the post-contracting that would be done to them for their organization capabilities.
Yeah, main thing she wanted was to touch base with the engineer, so now she needs to touch base with me and find out more about them.
I spoke with her today, and for us, it was more on the procurement side of things.
Okay.
Contracts and bidding and stuff like that. But when I looked at her website, it looks like they try to help manage the whole project, finance.
That's kind of what she indicated.
It's from what I could tell from what she said.
We were different modules you
They're
could
different modules.
buy into.
How she got my name, I don't know. She contacted me first. I called him and she wanted to talk right away. But anyway, we didn't know it was a scam, the way it came in, but evidently not. So Leanne will hook you up on got that in on time, what they were asking for. You know, when he called me and wanted to know, I know you took care of that, so everybody knows. And one of our politicians said we will get money.
That's wonderful. Maybe the best part is what we asked for the money for is the last mile, literally the last
Yes.
mile of pipe before they deliver to constituencies for, both a detention pond of sorts and a, water tower that post dates and after the treated water comes out of the plant. Maybe they'll separate that out for the purpose of Bob.
Yeah. And if you throw that 7.7 million that we've been asking, maybe more, if the state would move at all on any of that, you know. I'm just thinking out loud, I'm sorry. Anything else? We didn't miss anything.
Good meeting.
Good meeting, I like it. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you.
We are adjourned.
It's chill bond, we close on that.
Right.
Because but they kind of want to know how it's going to be fed into the rest of the budget.
Yes. If a little bit comes in along, you know,
But if we sit there too long and don't close on it, we'll lose.
yeah, that's where I'm at. I heard that comment, you know, when we were all up there. So we'll keep that alive. We are adjourned.
Okay.